Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's live. Oh my gosh, I feel like every time I come up here, I'm like straight off of team calls, and so there's always so much excitement just in the air. So we'll get started really soon. Obviously, if you have any questions, throw them in the YouTube live chat. Head over to Terravilla North and the theater to stream this live, and there is a small energy boost which I will be placing immediately after I hop up here. But yeah, keep it farmer friendly. And there's so much going on in the community today. So we've got a lot to share. Let me add Luke here so I can go add the energy boost in the theater.
Oh, nice. I'm making my way over to the theater right now as well.
All right, let me add the hearts. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was delayed. Sometimes I'm 5 minutes early, sometimes I'm 5 minutes late. It just happens. All right. Okay. Energy boost in the Twitter. Sorry?
Our mayor.
Oh, yes. So there's a reason that Chicken is on the stage. So for those of you that don't know, Chicken Pet is our mayor at the moment. And right after this live sesh, so in about 50 minutes, he will be hosting his second energy party on his land within the chicken. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to his land. There's a chicken. It's land 14. I always forget. I think it's 1458. Hold on here. Okay, yes, 1458. There will be a major energy boosting party right after this live session. But the reason that he's also on stage is that it's his actual birthday today as well. What
Happy
are
birthday.
So yeah, not only is there an energy party, but it's also a little celebration for Chicken Pet's birthday. So he is on stage with us. If you head to the theater, there is a third person there. There you go.
Just hanging out.
All right. Okay. Why don't I run through the community side of things and like what's been going on, because there's a lot of fun stuff happening. So
yeah, 100%.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. See, I just want to say, yeah, maybe go through that, and then maybe we can address everything that's just going on in the space after that, because it's been like quite interesting week. And yeah, I mean, it affects the space as a whole too. So yeah, why don't we run through that, and then after that we can go through that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. So if you are active on our Discord, you will have already heard the news. Trivia this week is heating up. We wanted to do something kind of bigger and crazier and more exciting. We wanted to find a way to like give back more to you guys. So the stakes are high. You can win 100,000 berry every single day for 1 week just by entering the trivia question, like 30 seconds, maybe a little bit longer if you've got to go hunt down the answer, and you could be entered to win 100,000 berry. Now, to qualify for 100,000 berry, there is a step you have to take, and that is adding one of our beautiful pixels overlays to your profile picture on Twitter. So actually, maybe Luke, do you want to like go to my Twitter or something? You can see the example. Yeah, so basically, huge shout out to Eldeniro.
I just did it to my own too.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. So we came up with, there are 2 different types. There's this one, which is like the land one, and then there's the pixels purple, basically. So you can choose one of those, and you just have to go to the link posted in our announcement. I will grab it right now and post it in the live chat as well. Update your profile picture on Twitter, and then if you win that day's trivia, you earn 10 times the amount of berry, which is 100,000 berry. So super, super exciting. And I also want to talk about the reason we decided to do this. You know, we could have just upped the stakes. We could have just made it 100,000, but why did we do this? And Luke, you should probably speak to this a bit too, but we are such an incredibly strong community. We're one of the biggest communities in Web3 at this point. It's incredible. So we wanted to find a way to make us feel more like a community and a collective on Twitter, because Twitter is a major platform that this space uses, right? And it's so much fun when you randomly stumble upon someone's profile and they've tweeted about pixels, or maybe in their bio they write farmer, so this was just another way that we could show, oh my gosh, you're a part of pixels too, this is so exciting, and everyone else can be a part of that with us. So yeah, I'm so excited. I'm like elated with this today. So yeah, that was a big thing that happened today. And don't forget to enter every single day this week, because at the end of this week, a user is going to win their very own Pixels NFT land with an apiary on it. So you don't want to miss out. So make sure you're entering, not to mention the $100,000 berry prizes available, which are just exciting on their own. Let's see. So this week, CyberMonkey user won an apiary, which is really exciting. So if they haven't looked yet, go look at your mailbox. There's an apiary waiting for you there. We've got the energy party, which I already talked about. And then it is time to nominate Terravilla's next mayor. So this is just the nominations, but you can go to City Hall in Terravilla, the little voting station on the right-hand side, click on it, nominate someone, and then next week, official voting will open. Yeah, I think that's everything. I'm just like vibing right now with everything that's going on. So I'm like excited, but
no, that's great.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, someone actually, let me just address this. I'm not sure which Twitter is linked to my Pixels account. We don't link Twitter to Pixels at the moment.
Yet.
I know, as I say, at the moment yet. So in the form that you fill out, or like for the trivia question, there's a field for you to put in your Twitter. So it can be any account. It doesn't matter. I'm sure some people are gonna like make a new one, but you know, it is what it is. It's fine. Yeah, so don't worry about this. Okay. I think that's everything I had to update on the Pixel side or the community side.
Nice, exciting stuff. Yeah, the community side's been awesome. Again, we appreciate all of you so much. And the community-driven growth that we've had is like one of our strongest suits here. So again, you guys are the ones who are making Pixels what it is today. And we really appreciate all of you who are doing this. And we want to start doing more directed shout outs and more things like this as well too. And then, yeah, when Pixel is out, this is going to be one of the ways that we, show our love and appreciation to all of you as well too, giving you, nice in-game rewards or nice, perks for, helping build out this community, because you guys are, doing a really good service to us and helping grow the ecosystem as well too. So yeah, appreciate all the love, appreciate all the help and support with what we're doing. And yeah, that moves us into the next stages too. So obviously it's been a pretty crazy week in crypto. And it's quite disappointing to see everything that's going on as well too. And I wouldn't lie and say that it doesn't affect us. It definitely does. The things are happening in the space right now. If you guys aren't following along with, just a lot of cryptocurrencies are, kind of under attack by certain certain agencies in the U.S. and certain regulatory action in the U.S. And to me, it's super disappointing to see that as a founder who's based in the U.S. and this founder who's really trying to innovate and grow the Web3 space as compliantly as possible and doing everything the right way, really. And it seems like, just what we're seeing is it doesn't necessarily matter to the people who are making the rules right now. What's really great, though, is that there are a lot of awesome players in the space that are, in front of us and ahead of us in what we're doing, like Coinbase, Polygon, who are, actively taking steps to, approach the situation and to, make moves that make the space better. But yeah, it's definitely a bummer to see what's happening, and obviously not the best timing that we want. Just to speak on what we're building is, we really want to be building things the right way. We've been doing every single thing that we can to make sure that we are. The way that we view the space and the way that we view what we're building is, just trying to make the space have a better reputation. We're trying to make the space something that really can exist in the long term, and we're trying to build out, actual, real useful use cases of this new and interesting technology. And we would love for the U.S. to be a place where we can start to thrive and start to really, come into ourselves here. But it's also, starting to be a question if we're going to be allowed to, or if the U.S. really wants this innovation to be happening, which is something that's totally crazy. I can't believe this is even the conversation that we have to be having. But yeah, as a team that's really trying to do things the right way, as a team that is out here really building out new interesting use cases that could really move some industries in a very positive and interesting way, it's just tough to see. So I can't speak too much more on this. But I will say that we have a good legal team behind us. We really do think that we're doing everything in the right and proper ways and going through the right channels. If you've noticed, we've been, very, very precise and very careful about how we approach all of this stuff. It's something that I've been thinking of since day one. And to be completely honest, like I do think that some of the projects in this space um, have been set up in a way where it's not surprising to me to see some of these verdicts getting reached. But then I have been quite surprised by some of the other projects that we've been seeing getting tagged. I will say that we have never been promoting staking. We've never promoting governance in our token. We've never been promoting value accrual to our token. And it seems like those are three areas which are causing high risk to tokens in the space right now. What we've been trying to build out and what we really care about is building out an in-game currency that's used for the game, where people are using it for that intended purpose, really similar to what is already the case in most games, like Robux, like RuneScape Gold, like V-Bucks. Really what we're doing is no different. We love the vision of creating a new type of in-game currency that is still an in-game currency that behaves in the exact same way. It just so happens to be an ERC20. So we love the methods and like learning from Web2 games essentially, and then using what could be some advantages of being in Web3. With Web3, you get really interesting interoperability, you get ownership, you get all of these really cool things that can be used to grow games in ways that you couldn't grow without it. And it makes you hyper competitive against Web2 games for reasons like this as well too. The whole idea of treating what you're building like a network or a protocol, it's super interesting to us, where you can use Web3 and incentive design to grow in really interesting ways. So the technology to us is so fascinating. It's so interesting. The use cases are extremely positive, and there's ways that you can do it that are completely compliant, that are that wouldn't be considered whatever's going on in the space. But then also still extremely innovative and bringing out like new use cases and new technologies to the space that moves the world in like a much more positive light. Essentially, like what we can do is bring out and start building games that are able to reach a lot more users with a lot less budget, and it's a market efficiency at the end of the day, which brings out better experiences to our users that they own, that they get to keep, and are a part of the future. So we're doing everything we can to make sure that we are building the best possible products. We're not slowing down anything that we're doing. All I can say is that's a bit disappointing to see everything that's going on in the space too. But how I like to kind of view this stuff is more from like a Zen perspective, right? There's only so much that we can control as we're building in this space. And, we've been building in it long enough to, be hit with a new thing like this every month or two. 1 month it's FTX, 1 month it's Silicon Valley Bank, 1 month it's server stuff happening, or startups or partners that we're partnering with that just go under. And we're pretty used to it at this point. So we could freak out, or we could drastically change what we're doing, or we could accept that there's only so many parts of this that we can control. And we can continue to keep moving and pushing forward in the ways that we can control. So obviously, continuing to build and release products, continuing to get new players, continuing to build out the tech that we're doing, and moving forward is what we can do, and that's what we have control over. So as unfortunate as it is with everything going on, there are some things that are just out of our hands right now. And we'll continue to update you guys all on how this might affect things moving forward. If this might change our strategy. There might be some things that we do in the short term to continue to build. Like, for example, maybe we release Pixel, but it's not an ERC20 right away. These are just different things that we're talking about. Maybe this moves listing back, but we can still do a different kind of release of the token. There's a bunch of different things that we're thinking about here. Or things could just be fine. The way that we've set up our token, it's a lot different than tokens that are getting flagged. And we've been thinking about this from day one for these reasons. I do think that there has been risk with some of the other things released previously by other companies and projects, and we've been doing our best to mitigate that for these reasons. If you have been following us for a long time, that we've been pretty adamant about a lot of these things. We don't really talk about anything speculative. And actually, we really think speculation is not something that we ever have wanted in the ecosystem. For example, we've been pretty clear on, trying to attract an audience that, actually likes the stuff that we're building, that wants to be a part of the game, and really, nailing down and like trying to say pretty pretty directly and bluntly that we are, building a game. If you don't like the game, you probably shouldn't be involved in this project at all. And we've been talking about this in this way for all of these reasons for a very long time. So we've set ourselves up in a much better position than maybe some others. And this has been a forethought for a while too. But just note that. So we'll continue to be very transparent and update you on where we're at with everything. But yeah, just note that there's some things now moving forward that we won't be able to control. So we're doing our best. If you have been following along in the Discord, we've been teasing and releasing more product. We started doing play testing with our pets, so you might have seen some leaks of those. Those are pretty much ready to go whenever we have it. We were holding off until the release of Pixel to do pets, but maybe this is another thing that switches up too. So we'll be playing it by ear. I hope you guys trust us to make the right and correct decisions moving forward. And we have everything that we need to in place as well too. What's great is there's a strong belief in our team externally, as well as we're talking to future partners and all of that to continue to execute in the ways that we want to. We have a great legal team. We have a great legal backing. And we've been, pretty proactive in making sure that we're compliant with everything moving forward as well too. So, we'll do the best that we can. But the best that we can is still going to look pretty dang good moving forward. And, that might actually require us to be even more innovative, if that makes sense too. So obviously constraints are what build the best types of companies. And if that means we have to adjust or change what we're doing a bit, then we will. And, we might come out even better than the original plan as well too. So again, we're super excited about the next stages. We have a ton of product that we're about to be releasing over the next couple of weeks. Even next week is going to be a really big update. Next week, we're going to start to release our first elements of UGC tooling. And this is something that we've been waiting for a very long time. And then after that, we're also releasing some new rewards dashboards too. So we're going to start to natively integrate things like daily rewards, weekly rewards, monthly rewards. We'll start to do more often. We'll start to do more leaderboards as well too. So we're super excited about what those stages might unlock and the growth that we're going to get out in the next couple weeks as well too. So again, lots going on still. Basically, this isn't going to slow us down at all. It might change direction. We might have to adjust in certain areas, but we're going to continue to build and release as much as we can. We're going to continue to make as fun of a game as possible. We're going to try to grow it as big as possible too. At the end of the day, we want to build a really thriving and active community. We want to give all of you the best gameplay experience that we possibly can. And we want to make something that's, new, unique, and super fun.
I just leaked a pet on Discord, but here, I can also just show it here. There we go. It's so cute. I hatched that one this morning, so I'm very excited.
Yeah, so we have the pets are fun. And yeah, I'm not sure how much you've gotten leaked from the people in the Discord. We said don't leak, but if you do, it's not the worst thing. Basically. We want to get feedback and we want to be iterative. Yeah, I mean the whole point of us doing playtesting is we want to make sure that the next stages are as good as possible. And I've seen NFT collections get minted and people just fund the art, things like that. We want to make sure that we avoid any situation like that, obviously. And yeah, we're pretty happy with how they're coming out. And these pets will be pretty fun. They're really unique. I think there's tons of different traits. We're trying to make it so that every single pet on Hatch is unique. But then we're also going to be introducing other mechanics afterwards too. So there's a whole growth and hatching mechanic involved. I think we really want to add breeding shortly after too, and that'll be fun. So essentially, if you guys haven't gotten the lowdown on the pets, how these will work is essentially there's kind of 4 to 5 different types of pets that you'll get or that you could get. And they all come out a bit different looking. They have some of their own little fun traits with them. And then what's interesting about these pets is you technically could combine them, or at least the art set up in a way to do that. So we're really interested in the breeding mechanic as well too, where you can basically combine pets together, mix and match traits, have a bit more customization over them. There's some cool stuff that we can do with that. And yeah, these are all live in game. They follow you. They have in-game utility right away. So they'll actually not just follow you around, but they'll have like some other stuff that you can do with them. Yeah, excited about that.
I can probably just share my screen real quick and you can kind of see it following me around.
Whoa. I think this is a first.
This is a big leak here.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so they follow you around and they're very cute and they all have names. Julia. All right. Okay. So if you have any questions, throw them in the live chat on, oh my gosh, YouTube, and we'll pull them aside as we see them. So
yeah, so I think we have a different plan around breeding than other projects and what they've done. The words inflationary, deflationary, yeah, I think we're gonna stop using anything like that, first of all. Those are, yeah, not great words to describe what we're doing just in terms of like end goals and objectives and all of that too. But what we're doing with pets is we really like the idea of releasing new types of pets. So you're gonna see like 4 to 5 in the first release of pets. But we like the idea of releasing new types of pets on a regular cadence. So kind of like trading cards, if that makes sense, or like Pokemon cards, where new Pokemon drop every so and so time. We love the idea of dropping new pets every now and then too. So we like the idea of doing like limited runs of pets. So like these first pets that you release, like those are the only time that we're going to release those types of pets. We'll likely do open edition mints of them, so you'll be able to mint as many of them as you want. There won't be a cap supply on that, so there won't be a cap supply on the pets early on, but then they'll only be able to be minted for a short amount of time. So for like 24 hours, like a drop, like a clothing drop or something like that. These pets will only be able to be minted, like these types, for a short amount of time, and that will be setting the supply of the pets of each type. And then the breeding mechanic, what we like is we like the idea of combining pets. So essentially, you can take 2 types of traits, like a sheep and a cow, plug them together, you get like a sheep cow. So it takes 2 into 1. But then there's still like the old types left. But then the original traits might start to combine or string together. So it's almost like open checks that way. We're pretty excited about that. And we think that might introduce like some unique and interesting gameplay.
I didn't realize that was also a leak of the new HUD. It's so funny because sometimes we're so used to seeing things internally because we've been testing them, we've been working on them really hard, and then we forget, oh wait, this hasn't been leaked yet. So anyways, big leaks. That was a big one.
Yeah, so if you guys know me, I love economics. I studied economics in university. I did double degree in computer science and economics, and I am an econ nerd. So
we know.
Yeah, I know this is important stuff. Like having a balanced game economy is actually extremely important to having a fun game, and that doesn't necessarily have to do anything with doesn't have anything to do with like tokenomics or anything like that too. So just note that like, yeah, we're gonna be actively thinking about this kind of stuff. The way that we need to start to speak about some of the things moving forward is, we in the same route and vein that we have been for the entire time of the project. Like we're not changing anything, but yeah, we do need to be like move with an extra step of caution moving forward as well too, just to make sure that we manage expectations properly, just to make sure that we are communicating with you properly, like what we're actually doing as well too. Like we don't want to create a sense of we don't want to create this like sense of like speculation essentially through the words that we use, and we'll be pretty cautious of that moving forward essentially. So again, like our end goal and objectives are to build a fun game, and having a good and balanced economy is a crucial part of that. So being really aware of how much how many incoming objects are coming in, how many are getting used, like that's a problem that like every MMO is thinking about, and the same thing that we have to do as well too. Like RuneScape had a really bad inflation problem for a long time, and it's interesting because I tell people this all the time. It's like people think there's so many unique problems in Web3 gaming and like, oh, this is the first time this has ever happened. Like no game has had to deal with this problem before. Like that's just not true. Basically, every problem that Web3 gaming is running into has already been solved by so many Web2 games. For example, like RuneScape has gone through like every iteration of like these problems that we're seeing with like, new account creation, bot detection, currency inflation. So, it's great that I grew up playing it. I've also just been like watching so many history of RuneScape videos over the last year, more than I care to say. There's a lot there, but yeah, we're borrowing a ton of inspiration from them and what they did. Like for example, we just introduced a marketplace tax that just directly removes currency from the game. That's something that RuneScape started doing in their Grand Exchange that worked really well. So we took that as a way or some inspiration too. So we're looking at tons of stuff like that. The economics is extremely important to us. Don't worry.
Okay, lots of questions here. So let's see. How many pets can you own? I actually don't know the answer to that. Do you? Is there a limit?
Don't think there's a limit. No.
Good question, though. I will ask the team that. What happened to DApp radar tracking? I don't know.
Yeah, for some reason our contract got wiped off of that. I think they updated something in the back end. I'm talking with that team, but that's pretty frustrating, especially as we're talking to many different partners right now. Yeah, we will have that fixed.
Mm-hmm. How are trivia winners chosen? If it's random, can you make it public? Okay, so they are totally random, but for me to make it public would be a little tricky. I'd probably have to film a lengthy video because I have to go into so they're Typeforms. If you guys know what Typeform is, it's a wonderful service for creating great forms, and we're able to embed them in game, so it feels more like an in-game experience. So I have to go in, I have to download basically an Excel spreadsheet of every person that has entered. And then I go to Google and I say random number generator between 1 and however many people entered that day, and it spits out the number. And then I just associate that number with the Excel spreadsheet, and whoever gets that one, I'm given they got the question right, and it's their first entry because that's the only one we're looking at, etc. And then I go in and airdrop them the amount and announce it. So it is done randomly. However, it is a long, lengthy process, and if I'm being honest, I'm not going to film myself doing it. But trust,
yeah, she doesn't
it is random.
There's no reason for us to not make it random.
No. Yeah. But I get it. People ask every single time, was this random? And yes, always random. Okay. How is supply cap working with breeding for pets?
I mean, yeah, what we like the idea of breeding is for what we like with the idea of breeding is like combining 2 into 1. So not actually breeding, but more like combining. If that makes sense. So yeah, we like playing with that. But then yeah, pets, we like the idea of, so that does something to the traits, right? Where the traits become increasingly rare, the more that they're combined. But then we like the idea of like an increasing supply. So like continue to mint new types of pets essentially early on, or like indefinitely essentially. So having rarity with like traits, but then introducing new types of pets. And then we can also play with things like the skills and the stats that they have as well too. We might want to create an incentive for like the early people who are minting pets to, have like a bit more powerful of one or something like that. So we're playing around with that a lot as well too.
Okay. The buttons on mobile need to be moved a little so that I can make wine and other stuff. It's just hard. We get it. So we kind of move with this ethos of put things out as fast as we possibly can and then polish. So we know mobile needs a lot of polishing. We have been actively working on making that experience way better. But how exciting is it that we're on mobile, guys? Like if you've been here since the beginning, you know that this has been a long time coming, and it's the most exciting thing ever to be able to, sit on the couch, watch Netflix and just kind of like, not playing Candy Crush anymore. We're farming. So yes, thank you for your feedback. We really do appreciate it. We have feedback forms. They're linked in Discord. If you ever have any feedback, please put them in there because we're always looking at it and it's extremely helpful feedback for us. But yes, changes are coming. All right. How many daily active users does Pixels currently have?
Yeah, it's been fluctuating. So we have been anywhere from like 10 to like 30,000 daily active wallets. If you look on DappRadar, it's transparent. Well, you can't right now for a second. Yeah, I have no idea why that contract got removed, but we can send the contract and just pin that up as well too. So yeah, it's unfortunate. We have been tracked in DappRadar. We've been a top game on Polygon actually for the last month. Actually like a top like 5 to I think we're like maybe moved down to like 6 or 7 Web3 game in the space. So it's been super exciting. We're actually super active compared to most other Web3 games. And we have the numbers to prove it. We wanted to get it on chain so that everybody could see. So yeah, we'll make sure that we're back on DappRadar ASAP. It's actually, again, pretty frustrating to me that we're not on it right now. I just got like a bunch of pings from everybody that we're working with, like, hey, what happened to your DappRadar? Oh, they removed a contract from it. So yeah, we'll have that back up soon. But yeah, we're sitting anywhere from like 10 to like 30,000 daily active wallets right now. Like about 150,000 monthly active wallets. When we start to comb for real players, after we do bot prevention, removal, all of that, it's looking anywhere from like 60 to like 100,000 monthly active users, which is quite good. So yeah, we've been pretty excited about the user growth recently. And note also that that's not on any marketing spend. It's all been through organic incentive design and all of this as well too. So we're super excited about what's going to happen when we actually start to activate UA and the growth around that as well too. So yeah, we'll see what the next stages look like for us, but we think it's a pretty decent start. It's funny because for Web3 gaming, 150,000 monthly active wallets is quite a lot. But then like I've been meeting so many other like just gaming studios and like getting way more plugged into gaming. Honestly, Web3 gaming is interesting, but like I'm more interested in treating ourselves like a normal game, and then we have a competitive advantage using Web3. But like I'm talking to Web3 or a bunch of Web2 gaming studios and like Web2 gaming mentors lately, and yeah, these are pretty small numbers for Web2 gaming. So there's a lot of improvements that we can be doing once you start to do like more traditional UA strategies. We'll see what that ends up looking like, but it's exciting, and there could be a lot more that we could be doing. So,
all right, this is a good idea. When tilt phone to move, that'd be cool.
That sounds like a troll.
I mean, it's rag, so possible, yeah. But I like it. All right. Let's see. Another mobile question. Pixels live on mobile. Are you planning a Pixels app?
Yeah, it's interesting to me. So like the interesting thing about an app is the distribution, right? I'm obsessed with growth. I'm obsessed with like distribution methods. And obviously like getting in the App Store or Android store is like amazing for distribution. There's nothing like it, really. Or something like Steam or something like the Epic Games Launcher. Those are also like great distribution platforms as well. We decided to go with mobile web first because there's a lot of regulation just in Apple's ecosystem around what's okay and what's not okay in terms of actual use, and we wanted to make sure that we had a distribution stream on mobile that wasn't at the whim of Apple, essentially, just to kind of de-risk the takes we had to de-risk our reliance on like one platform and like just a rule change suddenly. So now that we have this, when it's an option and when we start to see other games get into the app stores, we'll shortly follow. This is one battle where it's nice to have companies who have more funding than us fight these for us. So we'll probably just follow when we start to see more Web3 games get into the app store shortly after. Our tech will allow us to port into a mobile app really easily. We're built in nice responsive web UIs. We could just use Expo to port over to mobile whenever we wanted to. So yeah, we'll let others fight this battle, spend the legal resources they need to, and when it's possible, move into mobile.
Okay, back to pets, I think. Any rare limited pets?
Yeah, so we love the idea of playing with trait rarity. So like things like albino pets. We need a rainbow pet. I'm pushing for that really hard. Things like that, maybe like starry-eyed pet. But yeah, there'll be things like that, which will be very rare to get that. And then I've been thinking we should talk about this, but yeah, there are going to be other like really rare trait combinations as well too. I like the idea of like just one of ones as well. So we might work on some of that. We might have some we could use, which is one thing I want to like discuss with the team still. But yeah, some of the other leagues we've had, you might have seen them. Potentially those could be one of ones. But yes, and basically every run of pets, even if it's an open edition, will be limited, right? There'll be rarity with it as well too. They won't all be. I don't think they're all equal rarity right now, but they might be. But those are things we'll be playing with for sure. And we love the idea of that. Like we want you to feel like um, have like something really special when you get it. Essentially, that's the end thing that we're trying to make you feel. And certain things that are just rarer than others makes you feel that, right? I grew up playing Pokemon, getting a nice card out of a pack. That's always like a fun feeling. So yeah, we love that.
That'd be cute, a little pumpkin or something, a little Christmas tree pet. I
Ooh,
love it. Love
yeah.
it. Going back to tilt to move. Ragpo
Who actually wants that?
I think it's cool, but Ragpo pulled a screenshot of you responding to him saying, "That's interesting, potentially feasible." So called out. All right, back to questions here. Do pets die?
They don't die. We're taking more inspiration from something like Neopets there, where we want to make players feel like they might, but they never actually do. If you ever had a Neopet, I was convinced that my Neopets were gonna die. I was so convinced, and I did everything in my power to make sure that they were always fed. But if you didn't feed your Neopet,
Funny.
it would just like
I never fed mine.
yeah, they would just get
Never.
annoyed, and then they would still be there if you logged in a year
Couldn't use
later.
them. You couldn't use them for specific things, and that's what will happen for us too, right? Like you won't be able to access certain or do certain things with them uh, if they're dying of hunger.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of similar to that.
Yeah, they have a hunger bar. You won't get in-game utility with them if they are hungry, and I think they look different. So other people will see if you have a hungry pet, and they'll judge you.
Social pressure.
Yeah, so there will be social pressure.
Okay, so one user is able to mint hundreds of pets then. Technically, yes, but they're not that easy to mint, so it's not as easy as, oh, I'm just going to mint
So
100.
there's something here though. So there's two mechanics to pets. There's minting and then there's hatching. And the hatching is actually a good amount of work.
Yeah.
So if you mint hundreds and you don't have the time to hatch them all, I mean, yeah, it's going to take you some time. So that protects that, right? Where essentially they'll come in like we'll leak more. Yeah, they'll come in capsules, and you have to grow them and hatch them. So you'll just have an unrevealed capsule until you go through the work of hatching it. Essentially, if you mint hundreds of them, but also at the same time, like that is like a pretty fun game mechanic too, like hatching them and seeing what you get. I suspect there might be people that mint a lot and then want other people to hatch them for them. That might be an interesting mechanic.
I can see that happening too. Okay, other pets questions we had in here. Pets PvP.
So that's what we're thinking about in the long term, or doing some kind of skill-based gameplay, and that's why we're excited about the pets. We don't want to, or sorry, we want to start to introduce more skill-based gameplay. We do think that's a current gap in the game loop right now, where the game that we're playing right now and having fun with right now is interesting, but we need another element to it. We need something that actually uses all these resources that you guys have been gathering and collecting, and we think that this is an interesting way to close the loop. It might not be direct PvP, but it could be. We'll probably experiment with like a few different things. The next year roadmap after we kind of settle this stuff is going to be interesting. We're going to experiment with a bunch of stuff. I'm actually leaning more towards an acquisition model potentially too, with certain like types of mini games or mechanics. So we might play with that. and see if that's an option for us, just to like introduce more short-term, mechanics around this as well. But yeah, the next phase will be like pretty experimental with pets and just trying to make them as useful and fun as possible, essentially.
All right. I wonder how affordable and accessible the pet mint will be.
Yeah, that's a big thing to us. So we want to, for us, like especially since the plan right now is to do the pets mint in a native token in Pixel, is we want to make sure that they're accessible. Like we think this is going to be a really interesting and intriguing part of the gameplay. And we want them to be, we want you guys to have them essentially. Like we think it's going to be a nice, like fun, retentive loop. So we love the idea of like the trait-based rarity for that reason, where getting more, you might have a better chance of getting like a rare one. But we don't have to make the accessibility to them so rare either. And that's also why we like the idea of open editions for all of these different types of traits, where there won't be like a supply cap on the mint, but like a limited time too. So it's more rewarding people who are paying attention and ready, rather than just like the biggest whales and stuff too. We don't want to make these extremely unaffordable. Like this won't be like a $500 mint. Don't worry about that. This won't be like this won't be anything crazy or insane like that.
Okay. Let's see here. Any hints for what the key to success does? Nothing yet. I'm sorry. No leaks here on this today. Okay, when UGC? Also, how soon can we get access to the art requirements?
Should be releasing next week. We were gonna try to release it this week. Yeah, I think it's just gonna be easier and less stressful for the teams to release it next week. But yeah, this is gonna come in with that update next week and a few other things as well too. I'm super excited to get this out. This is great for our narrative of everything that we're doing. And the next stage is what we're doing as well too. I'm super excited to see you guys actually get stuff in. Please make it look nice so that the team believes me when I say I think you guys could actually make it happen. Put some time into it, make them look nice. Yeah, we're super excited to see what you guys can do with that. But yeah, we might also start to experiment with some AI GC stuff shortly after too. I've been talking to a few companies that are doing the AI generated art side of things. If we can, actually train it to our style and train it to our, asset types, then that's also a super interesting thing. Then we don't have to rely so much on your art skills, just your creativity.
Okay. Can we leave our pets on farmland so they can be viewed by other players? So they're just like roaming around. That would be very cute. At the moment, honestly, no, that's not how it is set up, but that would be a kind of fun mechanic that we could
I like that personally, a little pet pen.
It'd be very cute. And then if we feed pets, will they have a favorite food? Okay, how can I answer this without completely leaking everything? What we released as the prize for tastemakers creates higher quality things that will be used to make higher quality other things. That was the most, that's all I'm going to give him, I think. You can figure it out. It was very, what's the word? Vague, but also not. If you know, you know. But I can't confirm anything. So, okay.
Here, I'm going to pull one up. Are you guys planning on eventually making in-game assets and NFTs? So it's interesting because yes, and we actually were way harder on this in the back end before. Literally every single thing that you were harvesting was an ERC 1155 or an ERC 721. What we actually found is that the value added by making them an NFT, like literally everything in NFT, wasn't worth it. It just like didn't even make sense, honestly. You don't need every pop berry to be an ERC 1155. What makes sense to have as NFTs are in-game items that might have the chance of being used in other games, or like thinking about like cross-game liquidity. Essentially, when I say liquidity, I mean like, can this be used in another ecosystem, or is there like a reason for me to like move this asset to like get an asset in a different ecosystem? So the big things like apiaries or Sauna portals, things like that. Those are the things that make sense to be NFTs. And yeah, those will be added back shortly. We technically have all the tech ready for that to happen. We turned it off for a little bit. We were getting networks really congested. We did 1.5 million transactions on chain in a month doing that, which is great. We learned a ton. But then also, yeah, the value add wasn't quite there to our users. So this is part of what we've been thinking about in Web3 too. Like, what are the important parts of Web3? Like, what are the things that actually make Web3 gaming better for our end users? Does it mean having every asset on chain, or does it mean having transparency with certain items? Like, for example, when you're playing a game, game balance is important. Like, you like to make game decisions based around economics. That's just like a normal part of gaming in any game. And knowing like circulating supply of like in-game items is really helpful to help you play the game and make decisions around that kind of stuff. So that's a potential value out of Web3, where it's like getting a transparent amount of apiaries and the visibility from that would be a value add. So those are the reasons why we're going to be starting to add things like that back. The cost isn't a super important structure to us. I will say it was, the tech stack that we were using before, like the chain that we were using, that's a large amount of volume on that chain, and you start to run into tons of edge cases on chain when you start to hit that volume. The difference between 1,000 requests a day versus 10,000 versus 100,000 is quite significant when it comes to actually encountering on-chain errors. Essentially, if you're doing like 1,000 requests a day to 10,000 requests a day, like most Web3 projects or products, you're not going to hit many edge cases. If you start to hit 100,000 transactions a day, you're going to hit literally every edge case the chain has to offer. Reforks, merges that go wrong, failed transactions that look like they're okay, and then an hour or two later they get rewritten. Lots of stuff like that. We had all the tech to kind of figure that out, but yeah, it's just like the trade-off of like, does it actually matter to our end users? Is this actually providing value to our users? So those are the things that we're thinking about. Pets will be an NFT though.
Okay. Let's see here. Are we not updating the marketplace with individual price? Yes, we are. It's coming. Just like everything, updates, polishing, it's all in the works. So yes, that is coming. Let's see here. When is Pixels coming out on Game Boy Color? Luke?
I mean, I grew up with the Game Boy Color. That would be amazing. Isn't there some Game Boy Ledger that's out now?
Is there?
Yeah, we should do a collab with them.
That's funny. Okay. I just posted a little reminder that we do have the next mayoral energy party, which also happens to be your mayor's birthday, on Chicken Pest Land 1458 in 7 minutes. Now 6 minutes. So just a little reminder, guys. We'll see you guys there right after. Okay. What other questions do we have in here? Estimate of how many people are still running for grand prize. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Do you know what
the trivia?
Oh, trivia. It's interesting. The first day we had like 1,200 entries. Now it's kind of between 400 to 500.
Yeah, they want to know how many people have gotten one wrong.
The odds are pretty good. I mean, for doing 30 seconds of work, I say worth it, right? It'll be interesting to see if there's more people that come out because the rewards are significantly higher this week. So maybe go tell your friends, or don't, I guess. Okay. All right. Though you guys are doing a ton of work, long term it looks like it's a little bit slow, never ending Pixel token launch.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke on this earlier in the AMA. There's things that are completely out of our hands right now, which we can't control. We're doing our best to make sure that we are doing everything that we can control. We put ourselves in a very good position with all of this. There's been a lot of interest in what we're doing. We're compliant. We are doing everything the right way. So it makes us more attractive for these partners as well too. But again, what listings have you seen lately? What tokens have you seen getting out? What do you think will get out in the next couple months? Could just be us. Could be no one. There's a lot of stuff out of our hands right now, and we're doing our best. We're trying, and we're gonna get stuff out. But yeah, like we said, there might be some adjustments that we have to make. There might be some different things that we have to do. So we're gonna do our best. We're going to work with what we have. And again, this is our job. Our job is to build as fun of a game as possible. Our job is to have people play the game and to continue to make content around it. And we're going to keep doing our job. We think that the Pixel token unlocks the next stages of what we want as a company, and we're super excited about it. And it actually aligns really well with everything. So we again, we have no idea what's going on with the space right now. Like pay some attention to the space. I'll say, like, follow it, because there's a lot going on in the space right now with current news, with all of that too. Again, a lot of it's out of our control. So we're excited. We've made some really awesome progress in the back end, but yeah, obviously there's new risk that's come about with everything. So again, take a look at what's getting listed. There's nothing in this space right now. There's no upcoming launches from any token. I still think we can probably sneak through because we are compliant. We are an in-game currency, and we've been doing things the right way. But yeah, just pay attention. We're doing our best.
Okay, yes, this has been asked several times. Every AMA, do we have plans to make a 1-year VIP option? I think we will do that. So we'll give you more updates once that becomes available. Update on merch. Oh my gosh, it's almost there. It really is. It's almost there. So I've leaked it a bunch. I don't have the hoodies on hand, unfortunately, to show you, but they're black hoodies. I'm not gonna go on the same rant as I did last time, because I know I went on a major rant last time, but they are the nicest, highest quality hoodie I have ever had. At honestly, the price that we've been able to get it down to is such a discount for the quality. So we've been working really hard to make it as affordable as possible. And really high quality. So they're coming out. There's going to be 2 different versions, because also, once again, I couldn't decide. And I didn't want to have to make that decision for everyone. So they're black, they're heavyweight, they're oversized, they're amazing. And then they just have a simple Pixels logo on the front. One of them is black and white logo, and then the other is our purple and like neon yellow logo. And they're both amazing. And I'm so excited to get them to you guys. So I would say Luke and I need to sync on when we're going to launch that. That's all I'm going to say before I say any dates and times. But finally.
This might be one of the funniest comments I've seen. Game Hackers. Game Hacker is asking why their account got banned. Yeah, I mean, so again, bot removal detection prevention is actually one thing that we're uniquely doing in Web3 gaming right now. These other games are just not doing it, or like barely doing anything about it. And for us, the player experience is super important. If you're hacking the game, we're going to ban you. That's what you agreed to when you come in and play the game, to our terms and conditions. We are kind of a centralized entity for the short term to medium term, maybe even long term. And there's an advantage where we can protect players through policies like this, essentially. So again, the progress that you make in the game is your own. If you are breaking the rules, though, we're going to prevent you from doing things like withdrawing or from trading, things like that.
I'm just heading over to Chicken Pets Land so we can be ready right at 1 o'clock. But yeah, sorry, people ask this question often in the support center as well. And it's just, we can't share too much information on what we're looking for, right? We can't tell bots, oh, we're looking for this specific thing, and then they go and avoid doing that specific thing, right? So it's tricky. It's really tricky. And it's a hard situation to manage as well. Like it's just sucks, really. And we get it. All right. Love a hoodie. Do we have some t-shirt? No, I'm sorry. And then Sophia, one step at a time, Jack. Exactly. One step at a time. We're doing hoodies. We debated t-shirts or hoodie, and we wanted to make something extremely wearable. So at the moment, no green hoodie. They're just black because we wanted quality and something that you guys will actually wear. So I mean, Luke said this last time, but it's kind of like a deal. If you guys just want like a really nice hoodie, it's kind of a good deal to just get your hands on a really nice quality hoodie. Okay, I'm heading to 1458 for our party. Okay, hold on. Let me add our energy boosters.
Yeah, it's a birthday party. That's so sweet, honestly.
Birthday party.
Yeah.
What did Heidi pop? Is that you? No, wait. Oh, it's someone else. I'm special. That's how I did it. Magic, exactly. Oh my gosh. Okay, do you wanna share your screen and we can just hang out for the party for a little bit?
Yeah, totally. There was one more nerdy question that I might answer. Here, somebody asked, shouldn't we have in-game items traded in stable coins too? Yeah, this was actually a how do I say it? This was an intentional decision to make it so that we have some things transacted and buried. Just thinking about it as like an in-game currency and how we can make the in-game currency useful, right? Currencies have three uses. They're a unit of account, a store of value. I should really know the other one. And stable. But yeah, the idea is, we want to make our in-game currency vary, a unit of account and the currency in game. And to do that, just like the US government only allows you to interact with US dollars, we can have the same kind of, control over our ecosystem and allow our currency to be useful too. So literally just having this currency be used as a transfer of value between in-game players makes it inherently useful. And we can make this currency stickier and stickier that way. So it's an advantage to us. If we allowed you to trade for stables in game, that would hurt Barry in terms of like ecosystem and hurt our control over it and the things we could do with it, which is like an argument that you can make against it, but also like it's an advantage for the ecosystem too, for us to have things that we can actually reward people in, have them be useful, and then have like utility for the currency. So actually just having currency be used as a currency is something that we want.
Okay. So energy birthday party on 1458 in the chicken right now. As you guys see, we're already here. All the hearts come in. So fun. Okay, how big is the Pixels team now? We haven't really changed much in the last while. It's funny, I get asked this question a lot, and it's like, okay, what do you mean full time? Do you mean including part time? Do you include like esteemed community members? Do you include partners? Do you include like, I don't know, internal team full time?
10, 11,
10, something around there. Part time, maybe closer to 15 to 20. See, I don't know. It's a really bad answer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that help out in different ways. Community is super important to us. Making sure we have like a great team that helps there is important. But then, when we're talking like engineers, when we're talking artists, things like that, core team is like 10 to 11.
Mm-hmm. I have full energy. I feel like I should go like chop some. I'm gonna go chop some trees quickly. All right, and then waste some energy here. I better get sap. I'll be mad if I don't get sap. It's a bad party if I don't get sap.
The birthday parties are adorable, honestly.
I just love that it like happened at the same time. Like this wasn't planned.
So there was a birthday party last week too, right?
Yeah, it was Jen's birthday, but it was funny because she didn't show up to the party until like halfway through, which is funny because we had said like a week before, or maybe it was 2 weeks before, we had told her that I was going to announce that we were going to go to a land on the AMA.
Maybe she was busy. It was her birthday.
She's just forgot, which is, yeah, exactly. It's her birthday. Maybe she's touching, you know,
Yeah,
some
maybe she's actually
grass and fair enough. All right. No sap so far. This is upsetting. Oh my gosh. Ugh, I forgot how giant those whales are. Who is that? 4 rings. My goodness. Okay. No sap. Okay, we've got 3 trees left. I'm going to get 3 sap. Right? Are there any other trees on this land?
Ooh, I haven't seen that Zenape before. A Zenape with a Christmas hat. That's nice.
Really? Okay, I'm coming back from my failed energy or sap hunt. Oh, that is cute. I like that one.
More and more people getting the whales just because they're big.
Yeah.
It's a lemon friend, little lemon friend.
Yeah. Something like that.
Whoa, that is a grail rat. What? The glow behind
How
it?
cool are those? I know. And then the like gradient. Amazing. I love that one so much. Jen posted it in here. I took the party seriously. It was the best. Of course you did. We loved it. We had so much fun on your behalf, even when you were touching real grass. Okay.
Haven't seen a funk in a while.
Oh, she was on the train.
Oh. Oh yeah, we're getting a lot of requests for my ladies. Can I be honest? My ladies terrify me. I don't want to. Yeah, that sounds like a threat. My ladies or else. I get it. Oh, what's that? If I'm the one that gets this, that's actually hilarious.
Oh, people probably no, don't click it. Don't click it. Oh, come on.
They should be faster. Why am I the one that's catching that?
I don't know.
The
Okay,
rich get richer.
Luke will give someone 1,000 berry. Just the first person to trade with him gets 1,000 berry. Everyone, click on Luke.
I beat you to that one.
Click on Luke. Oh,
No, it's
I
mine.
lost the trade. Why is it?
Okay, I'll take it.
Oh, stop. I can't even see myself. Just blend in with all the chickens here. I'm gonna swap to a. Which one is not really being used? Maybe my grills. Yeah. Standing in front of. Wait. He's so fast. Where did he go? I was standing in front of chicken for a second there. Oh my gosh, that didn't know. I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry, I say that every single time. Like top at the top, 4. Oh no, it's 4 rings again. Oh my gosh, 4 rings. You got some cool avatars. It's got like a mohawk and a party hat. It's on the right side now.
Nice. We haven't had a new NFT integration for a minute. Wow. There are some lined up now though.
Mm-hmm.
Sophia just wants a million berry from me.
Of course I do.
I still love how the funks walk backwards.
Okay, that was some alpha, and you don't even know why.
Wait, why?
I don't know.
That was alpha?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know why.
Okay, wait.
That's how we originally. I remember. That was like one of the first ones we did. We had CryptoPunks in, and I really wanted to get funks in, and we didn't want to do any new art. So I was just like, what if we just made them walk backwards? But then their metadata ended up being very different. It was obnoxious.
Okay. I'm running a task. Where is Chicken? Where is he? There he is. Oh, thank you. Really nice. Someone just traded me some Scarlet Lopes. Okay, where's Chicken? There he is. Everyone's following him. He's got followers. I'm trying to trade him something. Player busy.
No time for you, Heidi.
Every time I click on him, player busy. Here we go. Okay.
When's the next election?
It'll be, oh my gosh. Sorry. It'll be next week, I think.
Whoa.
Yeah. Because we've got nominations open. Could be another 2 weeks, maybe. Hold on. Okay, here we go.
Sophia, what do you want from me?
Is Sophia stalking you?
She's trying to take a million berry from me.
Keep going, Sophia. You got this. Eagle Pet wants to trade. I don't have anything to give right now. I'm sorry.
She wanted the trainers.
Sorry, Eagle. I don't have things to give right now. Oh, he's just giving me energy. I don't think
this seems culty to me. Everybody following Chicken Pet wearing chicken heads.
I know, so funny.
You've got some followers, Chicken Pet.
Well, it's because he's giving some little extra boosters, so they're trying to be the first ones to grab.
It's tied, yeah.
I wanted the trainers. Oh, Dom just posted AMA recap in Discord. Chicken said, I'm controlling the whole Terravilla.
Too much enjoyment out of this.
Okay, well, I have to hop off so we can wrap up the live stream here, but the party will continue until another 45 minutes, so 2 p.m. Pacific. But yeah, thank you all of great questions today, and we will see you next week as always.
Good trade.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye guys.